All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, episode 2 of Backroom Banter. We are here. We are here. We would like to take this moment to thank every single one of you that tuned in to the first episode, every single one of you that subscribed, liked. We really appreciate it. We're a growing show. And yeah, with that being said, we'll jump into it. Evan, how was your weekend? How did the betting treat you?
Hey man, I'm having a phenomenal week, man. I'm really blessed to be here, man. As you can tell, I had to get a haircut. For the stream. I can't be wearing that mop, dude. I hate having long hair. But overall, great week, man. Blessed to be here with you, man. I'm glad that we're able to do this together, bro. Definitely have a strong friendship, man. And betting, hey man, I hit on the Bears, lost on the Bucks. You know what I'm saying? I mean, 1-1. Overall, I think you did pretty good. But we have a great guest with us here today, and we'll get in that eventually. But really excited to be here with our guest and you, man. So
Yeah, man, it's awesome. We're very excited, and yeah, we'll go ahead and jump right into it. We'll start at the NFL. It was a big weekend. There was some big upsets, and then the second slate in the NFL, the 3 o'clock slate was all blowouts. I mean, I think every single team that won scored over 40 points. It was very interesting.
yeah, it was very interesting, man. Yeah, there was definitely if it was a good game, it was a high scoring game. But man, we had two games that were really disappointing. Me and you watched one of them, at least the first half of it. The Raiders and Broncos, horrible game, man. Pure defensive game. There's no offense. And then the Packers did not prove themselves against the Eagles, man. And once again, not an interesting game to watch.
Yeah, no, Jordan Love. I mean, there's a lot of speculation up in the air right now. They come in, they look good early. They look like they're going to be a Super Bowl contender. They have that terrible game against Carolina where they lose at home in Lambeau. They have another home game the next week against the Eagles in prime time Monday night, and they go out and lay another egg. I mean, that's just not impressive. I understand they're without their two biggest receivers, but when you're going to give a guy the franchise like they did to Jordan Love, you need him to go out there and make those plays with no matter who's out there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you, man. Especially when you have a phenomenal role model in Aaron Rodgers, But we're not part of the Packers, right? We don't know what happened between Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love. But like you said, I think not only did upper management give him the keys, but Aaron Rodgers, I'm sure, threw him a lob pass to be able to take over and to read plays and know the mind of the game. Okay, I 100% agree with you there, man. Disappointing for sure.
Yeah, and sticking right with the Packers, they got a big game this weekend against the Giants. They're coming in as 7-point favorites on the road in MetLife. I understand that they've looked bad. It's been a bad couple. It's been a bad stretch for them. I think this is a tough game though. This is another tough game on the schedule. When you look at it, the Giants they don't pop off the paper, especially with the injuries. But today they fire Brian Daboll, I think, which was a surprise to a lot of the football community. I mean, I understand he's struggled in his time there, but I mean, you get rid of Saquon as soon as he gets there. You get rid of Daniel Jones. Both those turn out to be phenomenal players. I mean, Daniel Jones is probably going to win Comeback Player of the Year. But yeah, I mean, they give him Russ. They try to let him run a few games with Russ, and he goes to the rookie Jackson Dart. Malik Neighbors is out for the year. Cam Scatabo is out for the year. So I don't really think the cards fell in his favor this year. I don't see why they fired him this early. I don't see who's out there to go get that's like jumping off the page that you're like, we need this guy in our franchise. But he's gone, and it's on to the next.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, man, this Giants team electric, but man, the injuries have absolutely killed him. Cam Scattaboo is that's a heartbreaking thing to happen, and especially the first season for him. That can really hurt, or you can grow double from what you've been dealt with. But at the end of the day, we do know injuries like that do affect that injury. It does affect that ligament. But I really hope he comes back bigger than he was, man, and he has a phenomenal career. That dude, it doesn't matter how big the defensive player is, he's gonna run you over or at least fall forward. Phenomenal, very phenomenal. Then Malik Neighbors, dude, same thing, dude. He started the season off great, then it just ends for him, and it's really sad. But I do have the Packers coming out of this. Packers have all the pieces, and they're not dealing with as many injuries as they are, not especially critical injuries. But Packers really need to prove themselves here, man. They had an Eagles game. If Packers would have beat the Eagles, the fans and the NFL would have been right back on that Packers bus, saying, "Hey, it's our year." But once again, they fail and they leave the division up back to the Lions. Lions fan, but um, but yeah, man, I gotta be honest, I gotta pick the Packers here.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. I don't know if they're going to cover the 7. The Giants have kind of been able to keep it close all year. They'll seem to be winning the game, and then they'll blow it at the end, and they'll cover just randomly. But yeah, I think this is a must-win spot for the Packers. I understand Giants fired Brian Daboll, but Packers got to have this. If they don't win this game, the morale in that locker room's gone.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. There should be no reason why they don't. But going into the LA game, LA Rams did get their revenge, and not just that, it was almost a 20-point dub. Actually, Matthew Stafford looking good. Um, I don't know what's going on with the 49ers, man. I really don't. Now I'm starting to hear about selling George Kittle. I heard something about the Bears wanting to try to get him. And it's really depressing what's happening. 49ers going so far in the last three, four, maybe you can even say the last 8 years, going so far, and now they're just looking stuck in the mud.
Yeah, it's tough. They paid Brock Purdy. They paid Brandon Ayuk. Both of them aren't on the field for them. Mac Jones looked like he's plenty serviceable. It's just been a weird year, and the Rams have been on fire. They come into that game, they're hot and ready to go. It seems like every other week they have a different wide receiver one. Is it Devontae? Is it Puka Nakua? Unfortunately, I think both of them kind of got banged up in that game. I think Devontae's dealing with a back issue. But yeah, if the Rams can get healthy and stay on the roll they're going, Stafford can take them places, as we saw in that Super Bowl year.
Yeah, man, and not just that, they have the coach experience. That man, he has the experience now to lead them all the way. He's already got a Super Bowl underneath his belt. He's been there for long enough. He has the tenure. So I think this is going to be a far run. I think Matthew Stafford may even be MVP. But it really
Yeah.
depends on his wide receiver core. It definitely depends on his wide receiver core. If you're going to be banged up, um, I don't think I don't think Matthew Stafford makes players, but when he's given the players, he uses them, and not just uses them, he excels how good they already are, and you can see it when he plays. So
Yeah, they've got a tough matchup this week against the Seahawks. Sam Darnold's been looking unbelievable. We saw it last year in Minnesota. Everybody said, was it the scheme? Was it Justin Jefferson? Was he able to just throw the ball to him and hope he catches it? He's balling. I mean, Jackson Smith and Jigba looks like the best receiver in the game right now. Um, yeah, it's going to be a real tough test for them. And who I think whoever comes out of that game is going to be very, very high in the front running for the NFC.
yeah, no, I agree with you. Then after the Rams game, man, we got Bears beat the Giants. Really close game, really gritty game. I think it was 27-24. Bears came out on top, which was my bet. Um, but yeah, what do you think about the Bears and the Giants game?
I think it was an interesting game. Once again, like we said, we see a trend of the Giants being up big in these games and then just blowing it. Just blowing it. I mean, but kudos to Caleb. I mean, Caleb's been able to come out a couple weeks in a row and lead drives down the field to win the game. We saw him do it against Cincinnati. We've seen him do it a couple times now. So I think it's a big win for Caleb. He has a lot of haters, as we know. A lot of it is self-inflicted, but it's good for him to answer it, and maybe some of that will start quieting it down. They're quiet when you lose. Maybe some of them will start quieting down. They're loud when you lose. They're quiet when you win. If you're winning, they're not going to care if he's showing up to pregame in a tutu. If you're putting points on the board, they're going to love you.
Yeah, man. I agree with you for sure. You know, Caleb Williams, man, he didn't throw a pick during that game, but you know, pretty inaccurate. I got to be honest. He's been inaccurate the entire season. And a lot of Bears fans are questioning his development. I think overall, I think he's going to pan out eventually. Maybe not to what they, you know, they aimed him to be. But I think he's definitely going to pan out. But he's very inaccurate this season. But Jackson Dart in that game, overall, he played really well. And not just that, Darius Slayton stepping up to the plate. And not just that, Rome Adunze. Absolutely balling out, man.
Yeah. Chicago's got something good going. I mean, they got your guy over there as the head coach. They steal him from Detroit.
Yep.
There's a lot of questions. Caleb could run his system. Caleb's a shotgun guy. He likes to run a lot of I formation stuff, play action, run the ball downhill. But Caleb seems to be adapting well, and all that noise that was surrounding them beginning of the year seems to be quieting it down the more wins they put on the board.
Yeah. hmm Yeah, for sure, man. But we do have some key injuries in some of these games, man. Kyler Murray was placed on IR Wednesday. Trey Hendrickson is doubtful. Pat Surtain is questionable. My Lions, Kirby Joseph is questionable. Our defense has been hurt the last 3 years, so nothing new. Um, but other than that, you got anything else to add to the NFL side of things? What else?
Yeah, I mean, there's a real big game that jumps. There's a couple of big games that jump out to me. Bills, Bucks, Chiefs, Broncos. We can start with the Bucks. Tough loss to New England, man. It's tough. It seems like the Bucks just can't beat these big teams, but they got a real chance to bounce right back and quiet down those critics if they go on the road and beat the Bills. I understand the Bills have had a couple games where they don't look too impressive. They had a terrible loss to Miami last year. They had a terrible loss to Miami last week, in which you saw Mike McDaniel driving around Miami afterwards, acting like he was the king. But yeah, if the Bucks can come in and hopefully their defense can hold up on Josh Allen, Josh Allen's going to be looking for revenge. He's not going to go down easily 2 weeks in a row. The Bucks are still without Bucky Irving. Chris Godwin could be out the rest of the month. I mean, it's just been a season of injuries for the Bucks on offense, but hopefully they can get it going this week against the Bills and get right back in the playoff run.
Yeah, man. They definitely have a tough assignment. With Josh Allen. Josh Allen being phenomenal. Then you got James Cook, an amazing receiving back. Um, but it's definitely gonna be a tough game. Your defense is really gonna show its prowess against them. We're gonna see what your defense can bring against a Josh Allen led offense. It's gonna be a tough battle. It's definitely gonna be a tough battle for you guys for sure.
Yeah, it's tough. And what really needs to step up is our special teams, man. We got like the worst punt unit in the game. We've had, I think, 3 blocked punts this year. New England were in that game. In the end, they let up a 64-yard punt return that basically seals the game. So yeah, I mean, if they're going to want to compete late in the year and make a real playoff run, they need to get these type of things buttoned up because you can't win if you can't even punt the ball correctly.
So yeah, the other game you wanted to go over was Chiefs versus the Broncos, man. Obviously Broncos has a really good defense. It was shown against the Raiders, even though that was a dead game. But yeah, uh, Mahomes is back. I'm glad he's back. He's having a pretty good season, a better season last year for sure. It took a while for him and Travis Kelce to get going. Maybe they're not there yet, but they're starting to build that chemistry back. But one of the big key pieces that may lead to the Chiefs winning this is Pat Surtain is not. He's questionable. He may not even be playing.
Yeah, it's tough for the secondary.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully Bo Nick shows up. But I got to say, against the Raiders, that offense did not show up at all. Did not show up.
Yeah, if they think they're going to go out there and play the same game as they played last Thursday night, they're going to get boat raced. I mean, early in the year, you see Patrick Mahomes struggling without a true wide receiver one. Rasheed Rice comes in off suspension. He's balling. I mean, they look good. They're rolling. So yeah, it's nice to see Mahomes back up and running. As tough as that is to say, but they got a big test this week. I mean, if they can go beat Denver, they'll be right back in a lot of people's Super Bowl favorites.
But yeah, man. The Lions against the Eagles. That's gonna be another big game that we want to talk about. I had to bring it up because you brought up your Bucks. But uh, Lions versus Eagles. Lions coming off an amazing dub. I'm a little concerned that we let up 22 points against an absolute hurt offense. Especially with Jaden Daniels being out. Um, but the Eagles did not have that good of a game against the Packers. I got to be honest. It was not a high scoring game. It was all defense. But um, we're really energetic, and if we've learned anything this offseason, coming off a W, a really high W, or a really bad L, that we go into these next games rolling. So hopefully, man, hopefully this is a statement game. Hopefully we beat these guys and we put our team back on top of the NFL or top two in the NFL like we deserve to be.
Yeah, definitely. It would be a big statement win. I mean, Philly's offense really has been sputtering all year. They can't seem to get Saquon in the same kind of space they could last year. Jalen's having real tough time throwing the ball. I mean, he had a big deep ball to Devontae Smith last night, but it was kind of underthrown. Devontae made a nice catch on it, but really he should have hit him in stride in the back of the end zone, and it would have never been a problem. But yeah, the Lions' defense poses a lot of problems for them. I mean, if they can step in and fill those gaps and shut down Saquon early and force Jalen to throw the ball, I think that's a good recipe for a win for the Lions.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. I think every pod, every episode for the rest of the time we do and we talk about the NFL, we may talk about this. Jalen Hurts. We've already talked about this last pod. Just not a good thrower. May have a deep ball, but not a good thrower. Like you said, should have hit Devontae Smith in stride. But I feel like he's not a good thrower. The running back quarterback thing we're dealing with right now, it's not interesting to watch. Not that I just don't like it. But Kirby Kirby Joseph being hurt, that or questionable. Sorry, Kirby Joseph being questionable, that may hit us right in the gut because our defense, our offense is always going to be there. Our defense, it just really determines if they show up. So
Yeah, oh, absolutely. The Lions come in at +3. I think that's a great number for them. Um, Giving them 3 points. The Eagles kind of depend on late defensive stops in the game, and I think if they go in there hoping for the same thing, then they're going to be in trouble because the Lions are that type of offense. They're not going to hit you with these big shots. They're not flashy. They're going to get 3-4 yards on first down every single time, and they're just going to grind you away until you don't want to be there anymore.
yeah, no, I agree with you, man. But only bad thing is you never bet on your favorite team. So no,
Yeah, if we touch it. That's why I didn't even give a side for the Bucks because I'm too emotionally attached. But as a non-fan on the outside looking in, I really like the Lions in this spot.
all right, Nick, you ready to get in the NBA side of things?
Yeah, man, absolutely. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. It's the headline of our video. Cooper Flagg gets Nico Harris fired. I mean, Nico Harris makes a crazy decision last year, trades Luca away to the Lakers. I mean, everybody wanted his head. They have a 4% chance to get the number one overall pick. They get him. They get Cooper Flagg. But I'll be honest, they're struggling really bad out of the gate. I mean, they've won a few games. They haven't looked good. They've been losing to mediocre competition. So yeah, Dallas goes ahead and said, you know what, Luke Cooper's not the answer for Luca. We're getting you out of here. We're going to do something we should have done last year, and they're on to the next guy. I mean, you hope for Cooper that he can bounce back from this. You get a GM in that's going to build around him, and when they get Kyrie back, I mean, it could be a whole different look.
Yeah, man. I think when they get Kyrie back, I think it's gonna be like the glue piece for Anthony Davis and Cooper Flagg. Because right now they seem aimless out there. To be fair with you, it seems like um uh Jason Kidd doesn't know how to use Cooper Flagg, in my opinion. And if we know anything from him coming out of college, a phenomenal defensive piece and an amazing finisher. And we're not really seeing that. Really, we are seeing the defensive side of things, and I just don't think he's being used correctly. But yeah, to add on to the Nico thing, man, trading a superstar player who just took you to the finals and saying you're getting rid of him because of his defense. Yes, I'm not saying his defense is good, but when you take somebody to the finals, that right there gives you a repertoire of safety. And after that type of trade happens, every superstar should be scared of losing their position for their franchise or the keys they were given being taken away.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think the whole sports world was shocked the day we found out Luca was gone. But one of the really big spots I think they're making a mistake is they're without Kyrie and Anthony Davis being day to day as he always is, they're trying to make Cooper the centerpiece of their offense. And he's just not that guy. I mean, if you watched him at Duke, he's a great offensive player, but he's much better of a facilitator than he is a scorer. He can shoot the ball well, one or two dribbles to the hoop. But if you're going to have him bringing the ball up and down the court every single time, I mean, I think that's just tough. If you want him to, if you're going to lean on him to be the number one scorer and not facilitator and use him for what his strengths are, you're going to see them continue to struggle.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you, man. But leaving the Mavericks, there's a lot of stuff going on in the NBA right now. The Bulls, my Bulls have lost 3 straight. Sad. Detroit is on a 7-game. The Bulls beat them, and they just immediately ignite for a 7-game. The Raptors beat the Bucks. That was my bet. I lost out on it. I did not expect a team where they just get Brandon Ingram in and they just beat the Bucks. The Bucks is obviously a phenomenal team. The way they're playing Giannis and Miles Turner stretching the floor out, and they're playing this power forward center pick and roll type of style. It's working, it's crazy, and I love it. It's amazing. And I gotta be honest, Bucks are looking good. I honestly thought them getting Miles Turner, I wouldn't say it would have hurted them, but I just did not expect that type of play for them. But Donovan Mitchell dropped 46 points in a win over the 76ers. CJ McCollum battled Cade for a win but lost. I think it was 137 to like 138 or something like that. Grayson Allen dropped 42 points to beat the Pelicans. And then Victor Wembanyama has been obviously on a tear. So, pretty
Yeah,
crazy.
he's been on fire. He's been living up to the hype this year for sure. We just hope he stays healthy because it'd be a shame to not see him out on the floor every single night.
Yeah, man. Victor Wembanyama is on a tear, man. Like you just said, it would be absolutely devastating for such a young person to get injured who is playing at an elite level, possibly going to be the MVP. He's going crazy on the blocks, absolutely running the Spurs offense. Um, and an injury would be devastating to this team. I agree with you.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I mean it's kind of wide open in the East. The Celtics seem to be sputtering. I mean, they're without their best player, Jason Tatum. Obviously, he is the franchise. You know, there was a lot of talk before that championship year. Was Tatum the one? Was Jalen the one? I think you're seeing right now how important Jason Tatum is to that organization. He is the glue guy. He keeps those guys together. He's the guy that they're going to give the ball late in the game, and it just seems like they don't have that guy much this year. I mean, Jalen's shot struggles just as much as his hairline, which is terrible. So we're not in great shape. I'm kind of hoping for them to. I mean, it's so early in the year to say tank, but I'd love to see them with a top 5 draft pick so they can pair him with Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown next year. And I think that would be what's best for the organization.
Yeah, man. I gotta admit, Jalen Brown's hairline's rubbing off on everybody, dude. What? The 3 players have had a black spot on them. Well, that's a funny point. But yeah, man, this Lakers versus OKC game that I know that you want to hit on, man. It's gonna be an interesting game. I think OKC's gonna take this out. SGA's on a tear. That team all around has just got weapons everywhere. You pull a player out, you got another weapon coming in. It's just a phenomenal low salary built team that's going to last for a long time. But Luca's on a tear, Austin Reeves on a tear, but I really think OKC is going to come out on top.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's a very intriguing game, but I don't really like the spot for the Lakers. I don't know who you're going to put Luca on defense. I mean, you're not going to stick him on SGA. SGA is going to put up 90 on him. So, you know, you're going to have to try to hide Luca on defense as they always do, keep him rotating out of the defensive spotlight. And hopefully he has a big game for them on offense because if he doesn't go off, I mean, I understand Austin Reeves has his off and on nights, but he's not a guy, as we see in the playoffs, that you're going to want to depend on a night to night basis to win you games.
No, yeah, I 100% agree with you. Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic is almost they're almost in the same boat. They could bring this amazing offense, but they have no defense. And their defense has panned out a little bit, but OKC is just so fundamentally based, man. It's crazy, man. I mean, you got SGA, then you have Alex Caruso, and then you have Wallace coming off the bench. It's just so well built. And you got Dort. Dort was an All NBA defensive player last year. Like Alex Caruso when he played for the Bulls, dude. Like he was an All Defensive player, dude. Like what an amazing steal that this GM gave to the OKC Thunder, man. He needs a raise. He needs a
Yeah,
pay increase.
yeah, no, definitely. And I think this is a spot where you're going to see the Lakers' depth hurt them, as SGA always does. He's going to be attacking the rim. He's going to be getting guys in early foul trouble. So I think you could really see the Lakers' depth come back to bite them right now.
Do have some injuries we do got to go over. Trey Young still out. LaMelo Ball is going to be out against the Bucks. I think that's going to be easy W for the Bucks. Josh Giddey's day to day. That really sucks for my Bucks because that dude's playing like an MVP, dude. Donovan Mitchell will rest for the Miami game. Will rest. Will
Hate to see it. I hate this load management era.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. You don't like what happened to the old style Kobe, Michael Jordan, LeBron-esque player. Like show up because you know that 95 person bought a $5,000 ticket, and it's going to take you
Right,
2 years to get that back. And they
right.
knew that. They showed up even though they had an ankle hurt, an ankle bothering them, a finger that felt a little off. They still showed up for the paying person, the person who went and had to work a 9 to 5. I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, especially on those away games too. I mean, I understand if you're at home, those fans have all the opportunities in the world to see you. But you're telling me there's not some kid in Miami, some big Cleveland fan in Miami that's been dying to see Donovan Mitchell. They see the schedule come out. They go tell their parents get them tickets, and then they get news like this that he's just sitting because he's tired. I mean, the business they're in, I understand it's a sport and it's a game, and winning and losing is all that matters. But at the end of the day, it's an entertainment business. And when these guys aren't on the floor, it hurts the entertainment side. And hopefully, we see this trend come to an end soon. But unfortunately, I don't think we will.
Yeah, I don't think we will. But I really hope like Adam Silver puts like a bind on it, makes it a little more strict. I do know they did tighten up a little bit about teams intentionally resting players to tank and stuff along those lines. Um, but it's really sickening to see, especially with Kawhi Leonard. Yes, he's been injured, but he's one of the people who rested a lot. I do know he did tear his ACL years ago, but like Kawhi Leonard run with the Clippers, man, like he hasn't played much over like the 5, 6 years he's been there. And to see like Donovan Mitchell, an absolute amazing player who just dropped 40 plus on a team or a few nights ago, to sit out against a Miami game it is just sickening to see, especially if you're a 95 and you bought that ticket to see them because they're in town. I agree with you
Yeah.
100%. Um, But other than that, man, Anthony Davis is questionable versus the Suns. Cade Cunningham is day to day. Kawhi is out, and Giannis is day to day. So
Alrighty, yeah. With that, we'll go ahead and wrap up our NBA, and we'll go into our best bet section. This is one of our favorite sections. We try to really do our homework for you guys. We don't want to be out here giving out bad bets. We don't want you guys losing your money. We understand that some of you ride with us, and we appreciate that. And some of the haters, maybe they tail us. So hey, if you find trends in our bets and you don't like them, bet against us. We won't hate it. But yeah, with that being said, I really am liking Texas A&M minus the 19 and a half against South Carolina. I mean, South Carolina came in with big expectations this year. Lenore Sellers had Heisman Trophy favorite. I mean, now their coach rumor going to Virginia Tech next year. His father built that program, so I think he would love to end up at Virginia Tech. So South Carolina's sputtering. Texas A&M's been on fire this year. I mean, nobody really expected them to come in. They had high expectations, but nobody expected them to come in and be undefeated this late into the year. Already touched on it a little bit, but I love the Lions this week. I think that's a great spot for them. We already went over it, so there's no need to dive all the way back into it. But yeah, I like the Lions +3 on the road in Philly.
Yeah, man, I gotta say I love that bet too, but sadly I can't join you in that bet. But I'll support you. But the one I have, we kind of went in it with CJ a little bit. The Notre Dame is given 11.5 against Pitt, man, and I Notre Dame coming off an amazing W. Not just that they're motivated going in this game, knowing that they could be in the playoffs, probably will be in the playoffs, um, going into this. So that's my bet.
Let's go ahead and dive right into our college football talk. We have a very big guest with us this week, big and size and personality. The starting right tackle for the Dubuque Spartans, 352's very own CJ Tolbert.
Okay. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Good,
We're
man.
good,
Good.
man. Yeah, thanks for coming on. We're happy to have you.
Yeah, for sure.
We're really excited. You're our first guest. That's big time.
Yes.
Appreciate y'all for having me on.
Yeah, of course, man.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, so let's just jump right into it. You guys are coming off a big win in your last game of the season, 27-20. How did it feel to end the career on a W?
It felt good. It was a scrappy game. They're not a very good team. They haven't won a game all year, so they were hungry. They were fighting all game. So it came down to the wire. We basically gave them every chance we could to give them the W, but we scrapped to the end and we eventually got it. So season didn't go how we wanted to, but I felt like my career was pretty successful. I got on the field. I got to play the I'm recommended playing time for a college athlete. Like most people don't get to play for 4 years. So me being a 4 year starter, just grateful for that and grateful to be healthy at the end of my career too. So
Yeah, man, it's really cool. We played together in high school, so we grew up together, so it's really cool to see you go on and flourish at the next level. A lot of people make it out where we come from, but not a lot of people stay out. They go out for a year or two, and then they're right back for whatever reason. So I'm very proud of you, and it's very cool to see you go on and accomplish things throughout your life.
yeah, just by the grace of God, I got out and was able to stay consistent and stay focused on my mission and what I wanted to do, and just stay here for 4 years and not have any thoughts of coming back, and just believing in myself and believing that if I stay committed to what I'm doing right now, then it'll work out for me in the long run. So just grateful to have that type of mind because we've seen so many people go the opposite way. So just grateful to be smarter than the rest.
Yeah, a lot of people have the talent, but not a lot of people have the discipline to stay in and commit to that 4 year grind and leave home, leave your family, and totally dedicate yourself to football. So that's really awesome, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So yeah, you were a 4-year starter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for you, what does that mean to you? You and your family.
Um, I would say just like another notch on the club. To be honest, just another story of football bringing one of us out of the environment that we're in and us being able to succeed in it. I didn't come to college thinking I was going to be a 4 year starter. I wanted to kind of get the experience of, sitting out for a year and like being frustrated about that. I wanted to go through that because I played my whole career. So I've never really been able to sit the bench. So I wanted to go through that, but I came to college ready, like they say. So was just blessed to have the opportunity to play and being out there. Once you realize how important it is for you and the people around you that you're out there, you never want to come off. So being a 4 year starter to me just meant having my name out there and making everybody from my hometown proud. So that's what it meant to me.
Nice, nice, man. If you could, man, explain like the gap between high school ball and college ball.
Oh, I would definitely say it depends on what region you come from and where you're playing at and how the offense or defense is or like what position you play. But I say coming from Florida, Southern State, we're all about speed. So we ran the ball a lot in high school. And me being an offensive lineman, my quarterback was a running quarterback. So coming to college and playing with pocket passers and quarterbacks that stay in the pocket for longer than 3 seconds So having to adjust to that and just being smarter, learning plays. High school is just inside zone, and if you're a receiver, they give you like a route tree of probably 3 routes. You go run those. So just being the IQ level is different. The speed is way different. I say even when me playing Division 3 ball, it's the fastest game I've ever played. Like my first ever game, I got cleaned up just running around on the field, not looking around. I got cleaned up, and I don't even think the person who hit me was trying to. It's just a fast-paced game, so just knowing where to be at. The mental part of the game is big too. Just always knowing, okay, if I mess up this play, I can rebound. Like just knowing next play, next play, next play. Um, and I guess the being coachable side of it too, because in high school, you don't really have to be that guy to get on the field, but in college, like you have to either know your playbook or you have to be that guy. So I guess it's just being coachable and understanding, like listening to what the coach is saying, putting what they're saying into play, just being a coachable person, because I feel like that's the most important part of college football, being coachable. A lot of kids, they come here uncoachable and they don't play and then they go home because they think they're the best thing ever. But really, you had a lot to improve on. You just didn't understand that. So I think being coachable and improving every year is very important. So I think that's the gap. It's the work. The work.
Yeah, there's definitely that element where you get these big fish that have been on small ponds forever. They
Yeah.
leave their hometowns and they go to where everybody else is just as talented as them,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't put in the work, and it
Yeah.
doesn't end up well. So yeah, that's really good. And one of the big things floating around college football for the last like 5-6 years has been NIL, and everyone's talking about how it could change the game and how it's been changing
Mm-hmm.
college recruiting. You've been there for 4 years now, so how have you kind of seen in your 4 years NIL come in and grow and influence the game?
I've seen it change the game as far as commitment to teams and players being more loyal over time and players locking in and staying together as groups. My first 2 years in college, I was still playing with COVID players. So I was 18 playing with a bunch of 23, 24-year-olds that have been in college for 4 years already. So it was a lot. And I was playing with my freshman year, we probably had 4 D1 transfers who were all on NIL. And they
Wow.
were just there you could tell they were just there for the money.
Yeah.
I think it just it can make or break a team sometimes, because you can have those people where they're just there for the money and they don't really bring a lot. I guess team bonding wise, they don't bring a lot team bonding wise. So I feel like that's the most important part, is being a one unit, especially in football. So it's kind of hard to bond when people are getting paid, but it is what it is. That's the name of the game nowadays. It's a business now, so can't be mad at it. I definitely have contributed from it. So
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it's definitely been a big topic, and yeah, you can tell when a guy comes in, he's not really participating in the locker room. He doesn't really care about the extracurriculars. He's just there to play football and go home. So yeah,
yeah.
that's really good. One thing I will jump into that's kind of right up my alley is wrestling, and then how it translates to football. You had a good high school career in wrestling. So how would
Mm-hmm.
you say that kind of helped you transfer into college football with the hand fighting and the up close pushing and shoving?
I would say it improved me in many ways with the hand fighting, skill wise, everything. But I feel like wrestling and football, the big thing it can improve you in is discipline. And once you learn the discipline of a wrestler, then you got everything you need. I think like there's nothing else you need in life. I feel like I respect every single person that like makes a career out of wrestling, because it's the hardest thing to do, and you have to be really disciplined to do it. So I think it'll teach you discipline, and it'll teach you just to like keep going even when you feel like your tank is fully empty. Like it brings another level out of you, and I feel like if you have that and the opponent doesn't, then when it comes crunch time, you're gonna go to that next level, and they're not. So it definitely
Yeah,
puts you ahead of opponents in the long run.
absolutely, absolutely. The discipline part is so key to doing that extra set after practice, going to lift after
Mhm.
practice, running after a game. That really helps separate yourself from guys that just won't do it or don't know to do it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. A lot of people don't know to do it. And I feel like wrestling teaches you that. I feel like that's a big part of it. It teaches you that, and people do that in the long run after they stop wrestling. A lot of former wrestlers, they run every day, they work out every day. That's just because it's installed in them to do that. So
Right, right.
I feel like sports like football, like they and basketball, like they teach you to train, but they don't really teach a lot of after how would you say it, like out of off field activities. Like they don't really
Yeah,
do
yeah.
all that.
The extra 1% that nobody else is
Yeah.
doing. Everybody's going out and practicing 2.5 hours every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every football team's going out and practicing at the same times almost every day all across the
Mm-hmm.
country. What you're doing that those other teams aren't doing that will really help separate yourself. And I think that's a great lesson that you learn on the mat.
Yeah.
Mm. I got one more question for you. Especially because you came out of Florida, and that's a really hot state, of course. How was the adjustment of weather? Because you grew up in Florida, really hot state, then going to Iowa, more northern, maybe a little more cold.
Mm-hmm.
Man, how was that
It's a
for you?
great
Uh, it was hard, but I adjusted pretty well just because I guess mentally I knew I had something to do. Like I weather was the last thing on my mind. So I guess it wasn't as much of a big factor to me, but I got some friends that's from the Bahamas here, and like every winter they're like stressing because they just like it seems it's unknown to them. So
Mm-hmm.
to me, I didn't really care. I wanted to see snow. I came up here for that reason. I wanted to experience all 4 seasons. So it wasn't a big factor. But and we don't really play while the snow's falling. So unless we're going to playoffs, I've never been to playoffs, unfortunately. So we've always ended football around the time like the first snowflakes are falling. Nothing crazy. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, man, that's great. I'm happy you had a great career. I hope the best to you with everything after football and in your life. And who better to have on for our NCAA segment? So if we want, we can just dive right into the games this week. Maybe wrap up a couple of games that happened this past weekend.
yeah, let's go.
Yeah, phenomenal.
Sweet, sweet.
Okay. So immediately, man, we got LSU, Alabama. It was a crazy defensive game, but LSU obviously couldn't get the offensive going. It was like 9-20. Then we had a
Roll
few.
Tide.
Yeah, roll tide. Then we had a.
Crazy.
It is crazy. It is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Then we got a few upsets in there, man. We got California. They upset Louisville. Um,
Yeah.
um, Wake Forest upset Virginia, and then
Mm-hmm.
one other game that me and Nick were actually betting on was Georgia versus Mississippi State.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia obviously dominated, but yeah.
Yeah, tough game. No, Mississippi State loses their starting quarterback first drive. They go down right down the field. They score. He gets banged up on a rollout to the right. He gets clocked. I think he got a concussion. Second string quarterback came in. He looked good, but I think it's just a little too much to ask a backup quarterback to go in there and beat a team like Georgia.
Yeah,
Georgia, yeah, not Georgia, yeah.
yeah, no, I agree. I think
Mississippi State, they show flash sometimes, so
They
I feel
do.
like
They do.
that's why people keep faith in them because they show flashes of a real football team sometimes. So
hmm Yeah, even Georgia's coach after the game, he was saying that every single game they were never out that they've lost,
mm-hmm.
especially against the big schools, they were never out. It's actually really close games, and he was also talking about the atmosphere they brought when Georgia played against them. It was a really good atmosphere, but at the end of the day, Stockton, their Georgia's QB absolutely outplayed, the two quarterbacks, Blake Shapeman, and I think the other dude name was Taylor that came in.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've taken away from the game is Stockton, Georgia's quarterback, does not have a deep ball. And that's my biggest takeaway. Stockton does not have a deep ball, but he did play good, but just did not have a good deep ball.
Yeah, he came out of high school as a big time Georgia prospect. He's a runner. I mean, we saw him struggle last year in the college football semifinals against Notre Dame. I get that he was getting thrown in there out of nowhere and he only had a couple weeks to prepare, but yeah, he definitely struggles throwing the ball. They got one of the most talented receivers in college football in Zachariah Branch, so there's no reason you shouldn't be able to get him the ball in space and just let him eat.
I thought he'd have a bigger year going to Georgia, but I think the Branch kid still can make an impact. I just thought he'd have a lot bigger year.
Yeah, definitely.
But you can't blame him. He's not really getting involved as much. So, well, as you want him to.
A lot of times when he's getting the ball, it's behind the line of scrimmage, and they're just trying to create some kind of space for him to sneak through.
Yeah, and I feel like they got that MO off of his career at USC. He was a great screen guy. He's very sneaky. He can get in between a lot of stuff. So I think they try to use that, but in the SEC, it does not work like that.
Yeah, you even see him putting him back there at punt return. So they're trying to get the ball in his hand any way possible. They think he can go make a play at any time.
Yep, especially when you have Nate Frazier. Nate Frazier's like one of the best halfbacks in college football. And when your running game when your running game is absolutely dominant, it should open up the field, definitely down the field. So, yeah, kind of questionable arm. I got to be honest, kind of questionable arm. But then California upsets Louisville, man. I mean, absolute quarterback diff right there, man. Jaron absolutely outplayed their quarterback. And then you have other wide receiver Jacob DeJesus had an amazing game, 16 catches, 158 yards. Crazy game.
Yeah, once again, the ACC, like we said last week, is showing it's wide open. As soon as somebody looks like they're going to be the favorite to win the ACC, it gets taken right away from them. I mean, coming into the year, everyone was like Clemson. Clemson's a national champion contender. They've fallen right off. Florida State gets a huge win against Alabama, and everyone's like, oh, they're on top of the world. They fall off. Georgia Tech was rolling. They fall off. So, yeah, it's wide open in the ACC once again, and it's anybody's year to win that.
I would like to say the craziest thing I've seen in college football in the last probably 5 years is Georgia Tech's coach starting the season off saying, I don't even think we're that good of a team, and then them rolling through everybody for the first couple games. So I think that was a crazy transaction of words by him for him to not even believe in his team, and then them just completely give him a FU and just roll over a lot of teams that they shouldn't have. I think that was a big thing.
Yeah,
and that quarterback play there is crazy.
Yeah, they're a tough team to read too, because you just never know. It's a heavy run game. They like to run that triple
option. Yeah, they got that triple O going.
They do, and they can probably afford maybe one more loss on the season, but they have that big end of the year game against Georgia, and I think that could be a real interesting spot. That could be a spot for the one of the final college football national championship spots because that's going to be
I think they can do something too. I think they can do something. I think this year's college playoff picture will look a little bit more wild than we expected to. I think there's going to be a lot of unexpected teams in there, but I'm excited to see it, bro. I'm so excited. I'm so happy now that it's not just a couple years ago. I was kind of angry that Alabama wasn't winning every year, but I'm kind of excited to see the different teams on the come up this year and teams that have started when I was a kid we didn't even believe in. So Texas A&M, them boys are on the rise right now. They're serious. I've never seen a team like they're serious. So
they're rolling. The one game we can wrap up with until we talk about this weekend's games is the Indiana-Penn State game. I mean, Indiana came as one of the teams in the country. Penn State was feisty. They come in off of firing James Franklin. They're starting quarterbacks out for the year. They just got blown out against Ohio State. nobody was really expecting them to come into that game and be able to compete with Indiana. And if it wasn't for one of the catches of the year, they probably lose that game.
I think Indiana's one of those teams I was talking about. They're like Indiana's a team I grew up not even knowing about, especially football wise, and now they're taking over. So I'm happy to see the success they're having. But what's going on at Penn State right now is so heartbreaking, so heartbreaking. That's a really good program.
It is.
Like I like college football when Penn State is good. So it's really heartbreaking what's going on over there. I hope they get a new coach. Hope they figure that shit out. I'll just like with LSU. I hope because that's the most important part. Like you can't ride the ship without the captain. So
No. And whoever gets the keys to that Penn State car is going to be in a good spot.
In a good spot. That's why I don't understand why it's even open right now. But James Franklin did not deserve that. But it's a business now. You got to get to the playoffs.
Yeah. All right, Evan, you got anything else you want to recap, or you want to go ahead and dive right into this weekend's games?
Hey, man, I'm ready to get into next week's games, man.
All right, is there anywhere you want to start in particular, or you want me to just grab one out of the hat and we'll roll?
You can grab one right out of the hat, man.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest game of the week probably. Texas goes on the road to Athens to take on the Bulldogs. I mean,
sir.
Texas comes into the year not looking too great. They had that decent game against Ohio State. It was kind of tough to get a read on that. Was Ohio State's defense just that good, or was Texas just that bad? And I think two things could be true at the same time. Ohio State's defense has looked great, but Arch just has not looked like anywhere near the prospect that they thought he was going to be.
I kind of knew it though with him coming out of college. I mean, coming out of high school, he didn't really go to a powerhouse because Arch is from Texas, right?
Louisiana.
Louisiana, yeah. He didn't go to a powerhouse down. He didn't go to Edna Carr or St. Augustine, one of those schools. So I kind of expected it because when you're from a state like that, if you don't go to a powerhouse, then you probably had it easier.
Yeah.
If you went to a lower division school, you probably had it easier, and you looked like a better prospect than you were. And if we're being honest, like body wise, Arch Manning doesn't even look like Texas starting quarterback. If we're being honest, he doesn't look the part.
No.
One of the primary games I wanted to go over was Notre Dame, man. Notre Dame, if they get this win against Pitt, man, they could get in the playoffs. And CJ Carr's got a lot to prove through 3 touchdowns his last game, and Jeremiah Love, absolute beast at the running back position.
I think number one name in college football right now, Jeremiah Love. Every time you score in your last name Love, I think you can do a lot with that in college. Just to say that you can do a lot with that. So
yeah, right back to the NIL.
Yeah. But I think Notre Dame, they've to me they've been iffy this year compared to like where they were just in the national championship. So, I expect a lot out of teams coming from championship the previous year, but they don't have a set schedule every year, so it's kind of hard for them to be consistently just on top. So I understand their situation, but I think if they beat Pitt, they'll be in a good situation.
Yeah, that's what's kind of frustrating because you're going to have these 3-4 loss SEC teams that are going to be right on the fringe to make the playoff, and they're going to get kept out by Notre Dame. And it's just, I mean, I understand Notre Dame started the year tough with Texas A&M and Miami, and they've looked decent since then. But it's just like they got to get in the conference. It's not fair to these teams that have to play these tough SEC schedules, ACC schedules. For Notre Dame to just go play 1 or 2 tough teams every year, and even if they lose, they get in.
And I feel like it should be like, I'm kind of disappointed in myself because I just learned a couple years ago that Notre Dame wasn't even in the conference. Like, I feel like that should be said a lot more, and they should probably fix that because that's a school with a lot of history, and for them not to be in the conference is kind of weird.
Yeah, definitely.
One of the oldest schools in college football, so
definitely.
Yeah. Yes, but they started off they start off the year 0-2. But how about Pitt? You know, do you think they got a chance against Pitt? I mean, yeah, but do you guys think they're gonna win or?
I think Pitt always has pretty good quarterback and then secondary play. So if they, I don't know, I don't think they'll win, man. It's Notre Dame, dog.
Yeah, Pitt had a couple decent wins. They went on the road and upset Florida State, which doesn't
Yeah,
seem to be much accomplishment these days.
that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah,
But yeah, they got a true freshman quarterback that's going to be going out there, and with those guys, you just don't know. The book's not out on them yet. You don't really know their tendencies yet. I get he started 3-4 games already for them this year, but it's going to be tough. Notre Dame's tough. I mean that's a program that's rich in tradition at the linebacker position. So if this guy thinks he's just going to go out there and move around whenever he wants and be able to do whatever he wants, he's going to be in for a long day.
yeah.
Yeah. Was there
Do we
anyone
think?
else?
Oh, I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
go ahead. No, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Do we think Notre Dame's head coach is going to move anywhere in the next couple of years? The LSU position is open.
Oh.
Penn State
I,
position is open. I
yeah,
think
I really
Clemson will be.
like I think Marcus Freeman definitely is in the running for that Penn State job. You know, he's a Big Ten guy. He went to Ohio State. He probably, like we just talked about, wants to get into a conference. He understands that they don't have an automatic spot in that playoff no matter what they do because they give him to the conference championships. So yeah, I think he's a good candidate for that job. I think he'll be able to recruit well there, and it's not hard to get that program up and running with the recruiting classes they've had the last couple of years. So yeah, I
Mhm.
think he'd be a great fit for that spot. Yeah, the other game I wanted to get into was Florida Ole Miss. That's an intriguing game. Florida's not looked good. Florida's been bad for a couple years now. Ole Miss, though, they remember last year. This was the game that probably kept them out of the college football playoff. They went on the road to Gainesville, got upset. Jackson Dart, who knows what happened with him in that game? They did not look great. So you know Ole Miss is going to want to get their revenge. They're in a great spot to make the playoff this year. They only have that one loss to Georgia. So if they can go put Florida to bed and not let them linger around, I think that would be a real big statement for them.
Yeah, Ole Miss is going into that game with a lot of confidence, man. Beating their last team, the Citadel, 49-0. I mean,
Mhm.
going in there with a lot of confidence.
Shout out Lane Kiffey and everything he's done for that program. He's really built Ole Miss back up to a scary Ole Miss. To me, Ole Miss was always that team in the SEC that whenever we play Alabama, whenever they play Alabama, I was scared. Like I was like, oh man, we play Ole Miss today. Like they always have that energy. I feel like that they could pull an upset. So I think this year
Yeah,
with them being a really dominant team, I think the energy is going to pour out from the fans, and I feel like they're going to be able to go pretty deep into the playoffs this year.
yeah, and we were just talking about coaches that could be on the move. Reportedly, Florida offers Lane Kiffin $85 million to come there.
Yeah,
You know, Lane's a big name guy. He wants to be at a big name program. He's always going to take the prettiest and best job. And I get that he has Ole Miss up and running, but it's just a recruiting pool that you can have at a university like Florida in Gainesville. You know, Ole Miss, you're bringing guys in from all over the country, hoping they're willing to leave home, hoping they're willing to come and take a chance on your program. But in Gainesville, you can walk 2 miles down the road and pretty much pick them out of a hat, and you're going to have talent everywhere.
everywhere. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's just, and not saying that they can't go, not saying that there's not no talent in the community around Ole Miss, because there for sure is. But like you said, it's just a bigger pool to pick out of.
Yeah, definitely. And with the NIL, we know, CJ, we're from right down the road from Gainesville. If there's ever a community that would dump money into a program, it's
Mm-hmm.
Gainesville. They'll do anything to get their Gators back up and running. They haven't been relevant since Tim Tebow. So,
Yeah.
yeah, there's definitely some boosters that are going
I
to
mean,
want to be.
they're dumping millions into it right now. It's just not what they want to be happening. But yeah, that's the community that they will pour their all into getting it back up and running. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like that's how it is in Tallahassee too. Like they'll pour anything in to get Florida State back up too. But like I said, it's definitely. I feel like this year has definitely been a coaching problem as far as these teams' success. Like you could tell because like you said, why isn't Florida good when the talent is that close?
Yeah, there's really no explanation for it. And I was going to try to avoid doing this the best I could, but I wanted to do it for so long, and you brought it back up. I'm going to go ahead and bury Florida State right now. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like we just talked about with boosters and NIL and what Tallahassee is willing to do for that program. When you're going to stand in front of your boosters every single offseason and beg for millions of dollars for your team to be better, you cannot stand up there after you lose to Stanford, a bunch of guys that are going to be selling insurance this time next year, and not fire him. How do you not fire? How do you ask boosters for millions and then get cheap because you don't want to buy them out? That's just not acceptable. And
Yeah,
I
it's
know
not
there's
acceptable.
upset with that.
Yeah, these universities need to really do better with these contracts they're giving these coaches. Because LSU is going to be out of $54 million if they don't find a great excuse of they fired Brian Kelly. So they need to
Yeah,
do better jobs with these contracts.
that lawsuit was filed today. They're
Today,
trying not.
yeah.
They're saying he was out playing golf all the time. He was using the LSU Country Club as his second house. So they're really trying every single angle to not give him that money.
I think it's just a lot of the outside sources coming in. Like I seen the Louisiana governor. He was on the kicker show. What's his name? Pat. Yeah, he was on the show the other day, and he was talking about like the contract and everything. And I feel like why is the governor in this conversation? Like, it's college football, and that's where like I feel like just the outside sources that's involved with this stuff right now it's too much.
Yeah, no, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, that's a great point. All righty, well, we'll go ahead and wrap up college football and get into the rest of it. CJ, we greatly appreciate you coming on and giving us this time. We're very proud of you, man, and we hope you all the best in the rest of your endeavors.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey man, I'm happy to be on the show, and I'll be tuning in every week. If y'all want to have me back on here, just let me know, man. You got my number, so I'm happy to come back on anytime. And when I get a little bit of time, I might be a permanent, permanent guest. You never know.
You never know. Okay.
We definitely have podcast dreams. So I'm glad to see you started up, and I'm glad to see you have somebody there that you're close with, and because that's always important. Thank you, Evan, for your time. It's good meeting you, and
Good
happy to
meeting
be
you.
on.
Yeah, man. I gotta be honest. I look forward to you being back on the show, man. You obviously bring a lot of wisdom to the game, and just a little talks we had today off the recording, man. We a lot of wisdom you can share with us, man, and I really look forward to you being back on here.
Appreciate it.
So,
All righty,
Y'all
man.
boys
Have a
have a
great
good one.
hey, you too,
Yes,
CJ.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Nice, man. Yeah, if you don't have anything else, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Once again, we appreciate every single one of you. If you're watching at this point of the video, please leave us a like, comment, and subscribe. I mean, we'd love to share, but we're not going to ask anything crazy of you. We really appreciate all the traction that the first video got. We're here for you guys. We're going to keep pumping these out. And we hope every single one of you has a great night and a profitable weekend.
Yeah, man. CJ was a great guest, and I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. We grew like crazy from our first episode, so we really appreciate you guys tuning in. And I can't wait to see CJ coming in. There's a lot of chemistry and a lot of wisdom there coming in. So yeah, amazing episode, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody have a great night and God bless.